In the absolute chaos of the greatest war ever told, the Mahabharata, there's a single moment that perfectly captures a timeless debate. What happens when a sacred promise gets in the way of the greater good? Today, we're diving deep into that very moment, the dramatic story of how Lord Krishna himself was forced to break his own solemn vow.
And this whole episode really makes you ask a pretty fundamental question. Can a personal vow, no matter how seriously you take it, actually be more important than dharma? You know, that universal principle of what's right, of cosmic duty. That's the huge dilemma we're going to unpack right now.
All right, so here's how we're going to walk through it. We'll start by meeting the invincible grandsire, Bhishma. Then we'll get into Krishna's conflicting vow. After that, the big moment, when the vow was broken. We'll see how a devotee surrenders completely, and finally, we'll understand why Dharma, above all, reigns supreme. Let's get right into the heart of the battle.
Okay, so our story kicks off on the blood-soaked battlefield of Kurukshetra. And there's this one warrior who just seems completely and utterly unstoppable, the grandsire Bhishma.
I mean, for days on end, Bhishma has just been a storm of pure destruction. He's an unmatched warrior, and he is single-handedly tearing through the Pandava army. He's like a force of nature, this giant, insurmountable wall standing between our heroes and any hope of victory.
And here's the kicker, the source of his unbelievable confidence. Bhishma had a divine boon. He had the power to choose the exact moment of his own death. So think about that. Nobody could kill him unless he was okay with it. This made him, for all intents and purposes, invincible. So you have this unstoppable force on the field. But there is one person out there who could take him down, Lord Krishna. The problem? Well, he made a promise that basically tied his own hands, a vow that sets the stage for this entire incredible conflict.
And this right here is the deadlock at the heart of our story. On one side, you've got Bhishma's vow to fight to his very last breath to protect the throne of Hastinapur. And on the other side, Krishna's vow to take part in the war, sure, but only as a charioteer, and to not lift a single weapon. Two sacred promises on a collision course.
So as the body count just keeps rising, and the Pandava forces are crumbling under Bhishma's relentless attack, Krishna sees it all. He sees the suffering of his devotees. He sees the cause of righteousness failing. And he finally reaches a breaking point. Which brings us to the climax of this story, the moment the vow was shattered.
Now, to really understand what Krishna does next, you have to remember his whole purpose for being, and it's captured perfectly in this famous verse. His entire reason for existing is to step in whenever Dharma, that cosmic order, is in trouble. A personal promise, well, it just can't stand in the way of his ultimate mission.
Watching Bhishma just mercilessly slaughter his army, Krishna is filled with this, well, it's not just simple anger, it's a divine, righteous fury. It's an anger that's born from this incredibly deep compassion and a fierce need to protect the people who've put all their faith in him. And in that instant, his resolve just hardens into steel. He literally leaps from his chariot and gives this absolutely stunning ultimatum directly to Bhishma. This is the moment everything changes. Krishna is flat out declaring he's about to break his own sacred vow for the sake of his devotees.
Now, having sworn not to use a conventional weapon, Krishna has to improvise. He grabs a fallen chariot wheel, lifts it high above his head, ready to throw it just like his divine discus, the Sudarshana chakra. This broken wheel, it becomes the perfect symbol of a broken promise, a promise broken in the service of a much higher truth.
So, how does the invincible Bhishma react to this? I mean, the sight of God himself charging at him, ready to end it all. You'd expect the duel of the century, right? But what actually happens next is so much more profound. It reveals what a devotee's ultimate surrender truly looks like. In that incredible moment, seeing Krishna's divine rage, Bhishma has an epiphany. It's like a light bulb goes on. He's no longer just seeing his friend or a simple charioteer. He is seeing the supreme being in all his glory, and he realizes his mistake. He truly recognizes the divine power standing right in front of him. And so what does he do? He drops his bow. He just throws his arms wide open in complete and total surrender. See, for Bhishma, who was a great devotee, to die at the hands of Krishna isn't a defeat. It's the ultimate liberation. It's the highest honor he could possibly imagine. He willingly invites his own end. So what is the deeper meaning behind this incredible showdown? Krishna breaks his vow, and Bhishma celebrates it.
It seems like a huge paradox, but this moment reveals the final, most important lesson of our story, that Dharma is, and always will be, above everything else.
Krishna's own words here really get to the heart of it all. He knows breaking a promise is a big deal. He's saying, look, the world might judge me for this. My reputation might even be stained. But he's willing to pay that personal price to uphold the greater, universal law of Dharma.
So, what can we really take away from this amazing story? Well, first, that protecting what's right can sometimes be more important than a personal promise. Second, that sincere faith can literally move the divine to act. Third, that true surrender isn't about weakness, it's about recognizing a higher truth. And finally, that our ultimate duty isn't just to keep our word, but to do what is right.
And this all leaves us with one last thought. A question that echoes all the way from that ancient battlefield right into our lives today. For you, what's more important? Holding on to a personal promise no matter what, or answering the call of what you believe is a greater duty?